instead of on the computer. Because sometimes, guys, when you record in the cloud, it's like it's on Zoom, and when you record on the computer, it's like try to find it. Sometimes I forget where it goes to the computer. Hey guys, it's January 24th. So tonight we're going to talk about buy and holds. I'm going to try, obviously, hopefully the problem from Monday night isn't still exist. But I'm going to show you guys the buy and hold analyzer, which I posted in the group, and it's posted there twice now. So I'll delete the older files tomorrow for but the buy and hold analyzer is pretty awesome. I also put a couple of other documents if we get around to it tonight. I wanted to talk to you guys about two things. One is I talked to Casey earlier from Life Changing, and we're going to set up a wholesaler group that's lender free because we think we want to bring a lot of wholesalers in, so that way you guys get a lot of properties, and we can get some people in there to actually go through the properties and kind of vet them for you guys and kind of give you guys some, get some wholesalers bringing in some deals. But we don't necessarily want them in the group, and we don't necessarily want lenders. So we're gonna have a wholesaler group. Guys, what's up? Welcome. Chris, hey. So guys, what we're gonna also do is you guys saw me posting about doing the Thursday Zoom. You guys can do it, and if you guys want to do that and you don't want to do a Monday or Wednesday, it's up to you, however you want to do it. I know people get kind of zoomed out. People got a lot of and going to three is hard, but I'm going to do this Thursday group, and everybody that's in the associates group can do it. We're gonna have some people coming in that aren't going to be in the associates group. They're going to take a part of it. But what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be covering a private money broker, private money lending, the gap lending over 12 Thursdays. And that'll increase a lot of opportunity for you guys. Like I said, we're going to put together this wholesaling group, which I've already got a wholesaling Facebook group. I just haven't done anything with it. And I've got one on Agents Gather. I also do want to throw out before we start tonight that Agents Gather, we have the two secret groups there. We have one for the Zoom videos. Like tonight, I'm going to post a video there. We only have a couple people there. We only have a couple people in our. We have like 22 out of 100 people, 106 on Agents Gather. So guys, if you don't have any Agents Gather account now, get one set up and then hit me up so I can get with Danny. I think everybody here has got one. It's at least on. So I'm just talking to everybody that's not here tonight, because we're gonna slowly transition. I mean, literally, I estimate by the time we get to April, we're probably gonna have about 30 videos from 2024 on that, and they're posted in their Facebook. You guys know the Facebook group gets scrolled. I mean, there'll be 20 posts within an hour of posting the video. So over on Agents Gather in the Zoom video group over there, it's all clean. You guys can see it. If you guys have been there, it's cool. Danny has a really good setup, and so I want to just encourage everybody to get on Agents Gather. I think he said he can waive the 99 cents even, but I'm not sure exactly how he does it. You guys can reach out if you're not on there. If anybody's watching tonight and you're not on there, just reach out to Danny in the group, and I think he can waive that 99 cents, and then he'll waive and give you the premium account, guys. I'm gonna put a lot of stuff over there because it's really clean. So I'm just encouraging everybody to go there. I'll put it over here too, but I have to use files, guides, and chats, and you guys know that then you have to go and look for stuff. So even the Agents Gather groups are easier to navigate. They're phenomenal, and once Danny has his server upgrade, you guys can actually post a lot of videos. And if you want to do blogs and stuff, it's pretty good. Some people, like I think Casey said, a couple people Life Changing have got some first page of Google. I've been on first page of Google. I know Gwen's been posting a lot on there. One more piece of housekeeping news before I try to put this analyzer out is that Gwen has said that a lot of people that are sending in stuff to her aren't filling out, and I don't think it's our group. I think it's people from outside. But if you guys know people that are doing EMB, they're asking about it, and you refer them to her, make sure you tell them that they got to fill that form out. They got to give her everything she has, because we have probably 20 something people from that group alone that have committed, even some outsiders, funding. And that's good for you guys because that money's right there, and you guys know Gwen personally, where somebody from the outside of the group doesn't know her. But making sure that everybody does the paperwork correctly so that we can actually get this going, because that's allowing me to recruit more people. And that's another thing I just forgot to also post, guys. We have a fund manager who loans on real estate, who has a $150 million fund. He is going to be on all of the Thursday Zooms, and those start on February 8th. So there'll be one, and he's got his own fund. He loans on real estate. He hasn't given me like all the parameters and all the guidelines and all the programs he has. So you think about life changing being here and all the people we have, Simi and all the Willie, Gabe, all those people, guys. We're gonna have a dedicated a lender being in that group with, and then so it's gonna be awesome on Thursday. So if you can't make all three, and I don't expect everybody to be all three, I mean you can watch them. Just prioritize which ones you want to go to. These ones that are on Mondays and Wednesdays, you guys will see me do those schedules, like those little posts. So you guys know I have those all the way through March. I haven't done April yet, but we're gonna basically by the end of April, we'll probably have about 25 to 30 videos, Zim's done with you guys and everybody. So there's a lot of content coming out. All right. So I'm gonna try to show you guys this. You guys know how Monday went. I'm gonna try to show you. Let me see if I can pull it up. You guys want to see how much stuff I have in my file? I'm gonna try to pull up. There goes documents. It's just gonna be easier for me to go to. Okay. So give me a second. This is gonna take a second to come up. Okay. So it isn't Microsoft, guys. It's an Excel, and it kind of, unfortunately, kind of is slow. But if you guys were able to see it, it may take me a second to get it up. I posted this in the group, guys, and I apologize. It's still in Excel. Like some of my PowerPoints I converted over to PDFs. So give me a second while it comes up. Are you guys able to see this, or do I need to try to redo it? Can you guys see it?
All we have is the menu, Nate.
The menu. I don't know why keeps doing this. I'm really frustrated. I don't know. So I'm trying to show you guys the buy and hold analyzer, which sucks. Let me try it one more time and see if it works. Because this will suck if I can't show it to you guys. You guys able to see it now?
Now we got it.
Cool. All right, guys. So apologize for that. It used to be funny. I used to laugh at this. So this is a buy and hold analyzer, guys. This is great for buy and hold property analysis, and it's pretty detailed. It's a little more extensive. So I'm gonna try to let me navigate it. So you got information for the basic properties. I'm gonna go through a little bit slower. So you guys can see obviously there's a lot of data. This is just really it's really cool, a lot of cells and stuff. So I want to make sure I do this right for you guys. There's a lot of good information to this. I gotta kind of navigate it a little bit. This is all right. So this is great, guys. You can pull in this data with all your individual cells. So you got the 2% rule, the cap rate. You got all the other factors. Let's fill in the blanks. It does have a guide with it for. Let me make sure I can get that to it. How to use. Okay, guys. This is great. This is where it is too. So this is actually how to use the spreadsheets. It does come with constructions, and you guys can easily. I mean, this is simple. So, and I got this. One of my friends did this for his business, for his. He has a lot of. I think he has over 1,000 apartments, 1,000 doors. So he uses this a lot. So this is cool. You can do 20. You can analyze up to 25 properties at a time, guys. That's really good. And then the blue cells for each property. It's going to include the basic property details, your A to G. It's going to be purchase and setup, which is your columns H to M, and then B, monthly income columns, monthly expenses, and then you got your other factors. The factor score allows you to determine your own scores across several factors. You guys can read this, so I'm not going to go through it too much. It's got the square foot score, it's got a neighborhood score, it's got a street parking score. So it's really good. And he basically gets a score, and the score ends up telling him if this is a good property to buy. So it's kind of unique in that way. And then you don't want to edit. You don't want to edit to step two. You don't really want to sell with white background because they're calculations. So what this tool is going to do, you guys, is it's really cool. And you guys can actually save this and print it so you have written instructions, but you don't really have to. But it's going to have all the down payment amount. It's going to have the mortgage amount, your total costs, your total monthly income. It's going to have your estimated monthly mortgage, your expenses, your net profit, your cash on cash return. It'll calculate that, your 1% rule and your 2% rule. So the good thing is, most analyzers that I've seen out there will only do the 1% or the 2%. This one actually does both of them. So when you put the data and the information in that it asks for, it's going to tell you how to do it. It's going to give you both 1% and 2%. You're also going to get NOI, and you're going to get the cap rate and some other factors. So it's really cool. So like I said, this is really good instructions. I mean, really, it tells you how to do this. You don't really need me, and that's what I said. I'm trying to show it to you guys. You can start playing with it if you want to pull some stuff. I mean, you can pull some stuff off LoopNet and create Grexy just for kicks, while you're learning it. But this is a really good, solid, um, you know, buy and hold calculator, and so it's kind of cool. I like it a lot. So like I said, it's pretty solid on this. So when you get into this, the analyzer, like I said, you can just, this is obviously has all these numbers. You can start just changing them out, but you can take the T12, the tracking 12, and get the rent roll, and that will give you all the numbers that you need to put into this. It's going to give you, so you have your down payment, what your down payment is going to be, what your mortgage is going to be. Like I said, your repair and setup costs are going to be, and your get ready, get rent ready. So a lot of value add and stuff, what your expected rent's going to be, and it's going to get into your monthly income, your mortgage, and then it's going to get into your property tax. It's going to show you your insurance, your utilities, and then what your vacancy rent is, what your repairs is, your expenditures, your management fee. You start getting into multiple properties and you have a manager, you can put those in there. It'll come up then with your total monthly expenses, and then your total monthly profit, your cash on cash. It's going to have your rent, at least 1% of the purchase price, and then it's going to 2%. And guess what? Here, like I said, it comes up with a yes or no. So it's going to say yes, green, just like a stop sign. Red is no, it's a fail. That's a cool system to know that it's going to start factoring all these numbers. So I want everybody to start playing with this and start just, if you're doing multifamily, if you're doing apartments or rental properties, rental houses, single family, this might be good after next week when Cameron's on, because he's going to come on next week and talk to you guys about how to buy 50 rental properties and help you buy them. And then you get into like your cap rate and all that stuff. But it also comes over here and it's going to start giving you factors. So once you put in, the different, and it shows you in the instructions. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go through and do this, but it shows you in the instructions. So you got your bedroom score, your bathroom score. It's going to have your square foot score, your yard score, neighborhood, parking, transit, for light rail, or do you have, what you have for transit and amenities. And it's going to come up with a score. And the higher the score, the better the average. That's going to tell you, it's going to do all your analysts for you. So it's going to tell you, and you can, like I said, you can do 25 properties. So if you go and you're looking to do 25 properties, as long as you enter all the numbers you need, you can do it 25 times. Think about that. Think about how great this is when you get over here. You can go to the pass fail column. You can get all your yeses or your nos, and then then you can look over in your scores, and then you say, hey, maybe these top 5 properties are the ones I'm going to pursue. So this is a really good real estate analyst program. Next week I'm gonna show you the short-term rentals one that I have. And we do also have a couple different ones for multifamily. We have a really simple one. We have one that's more for if you're going to go to syndication and you got to raise money to credit investors, you got to show them more detail, obviously, sometimes in just a lender. So this is a really good program, guys. You can download it. It's in Excel. It's a little slow. Excel's slower than a lot of things that are out there, but you guys, this is available to you guys to download. So I just want to make sure that you guys have this and just remember when you're doing it, you got the how to use. And that's basically going to tell you how to factor and everything. So it's pretty cool how to use the spreadsheet. It goes in a lot of good information, guys. It gives a definition of everything. So it tells you how to do every line item. So it's a really phenomenal if you're doing, you could use monthly, you could put single family residences and you could do multifamily in this, and come up with your different rates and stuff like that. So this is a really cool system. So I just want to make sure that, you guys can download it and use it at your will, however you want to use it or use it or not use it, whatever it is. I have a couple of the multifamily ones, like I said, and then we do have the short-term rentals one. Flips, we don't really need one, but I also have a rehab calculator, and we have obviously the scope of work forms and stuff I tried to show you guys last week a little bit. We have the scope of work, so you can use that one. The rehab calculator is pretty detailed. Um, it'll help you actually figure out some retail things. And so Pip, I know you're on, so I talked to Casey earlier. So we're actually going to try to do this wholesale group. We're going to try to put a wholesale group together to bring wholesalers in that are free of lenders. So we won't have lenders, so we can bring in properties for you and for everybody to have properties, and we can vet them, and we can have a group that can go in there and start just getting properties for you guys. And then Privy obviously is good. Privy right now, guys, is $149 a month, and I think it's like 14 something for the year. I'm gonna reach out to Benson and try to get a deal for the group. He gave one to the group before for like $99 a month, and you could get like 3 months as a trial. And that was, really good to go on an experiment with it. So if you guys are interested in that, I will reach out to Benson and try to get that for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and try to bring up one more. Okay, something else I'm gonna show you guys because this is a thing that's coming up a little bit. Um, especially for you guys, and I'm gonna go through this more in this when we start doing this thing. This is a thing of vetting questions, and you guys can download this as well. I know it's going to take a second to come up. It's in Word. Um, and this laptop sucks with Microsoft because I have that 365 thing that, which is pretty cool because you can, a la carte, you can get up to like 5 computers and stuff with it, but it's kind of slow. So while it loads, this is the thing of vetting questions. So a lot of you guys are trying to lend money or you're talking to people. So if you are lending money or you are brokering or affiliate, this is a great little thing because it can hold, I think, 6. So these are just a thing to keep, like, you can keep it in your, car or your briefcase or your laptop bag or at home by the phone. This just gives you a few questions to ask people, like if they start hitting you up for loans and you want to refer them to like Life Changing or somebody for a referral fee or you want a broker. This is a great little form because it's going to give you, some questions to ask. Obviously the name, you want to get their phone number, their email, what they're doing, if they have a closing date. If they're if they're in 6 days, you may not be able to do anything for them. But if they got 14 business days, you can actually probably get this through some of our lenders. And like I said, I got that new lender coming on board who will be doing our Thursday Zooms, pretty much. But this gets into just some questions just to organize your notes. You can also use this, guys. What can you use this for? Pretty much anything. You could actually modify this and just even for your own properties, just write stuff down. But if you guys run into people that are looking, to do business with you, if they're looking to borrow money from any of our lenders or anything like that, they can actually, this is a great little cheat sheet. It does, I believe it does six cells, so you can do like 6 people, which is great. So like I said, it's just something to keep by your phone. When I was brokering before, I just always had this, I had an office at the time and I had my home. So I would have the two, I'd have one wherever I was going to be taking phone calls, or sometimes in my car, and I could pull one out and, you just take quick notes, and then I could organize this. I'm going to show you guys next week something called Rule of 56 and Rule of 54. And we've got it's like a CRM and it's an Excel. It's a pretty sweet program, and you'll see where you can actually take this information and input into that. It's actually an Excel program too, very expensive. It'll actually go out 12 weeks, and you can put a whole bunch. I mean, we're going to show that to you next week. When we do, I'm going to do it Monday when I do short-term rentals, and I'll do Rule of 56 because Cameron's going to be on Wednesday night. So that's just really quick, a little form to show you guys it is available, obviously, to you. Everything's available. Everything that I show you guys is in FileStat for you. And I'm going to be in the process of digitizing this all for when we have LearnDash. You guys know LearnDash is what we're going to be building the virtual system with on Agents Gather in. And LearnDash is awesome. I'll just post that website. Let me sure. Last night I kind of so you guys can kind of see LearnDash, and it's pretty cool because we can build modules in there, we can build tracks, and you can also put quiz questions. So like at the end of each module, if you go watch a 5 to 7 minute module, you can actually get a couple questions. We're gonna mostly do multiple choice. I don't like, this isn't like we're not being like school. You're not getting graded. It's just really to reinforce it. People learn in different ways. They can learn by me talking, they can learn by you reading, they can learn by visuals, and then reinforce it with like a 2, 3 question quiz. So, like I said, and some of you guys have heard me before. I know Doris has probably heard me talk about this before. So one of and it's not related to our industry, but what the idea was in 2019, 20, when we were launching this before COVID. I mean, we were like literally we were like 2 weeks away. I was going to launch it with, we're going to do Lightspeed VT, but there's a company called Storm Ventures Group, and I'm going to put it in there and you guys can look at it at your own time. So if you guys go to Storm Ventures Group, it pretty much works with the storm restoration industry. That was the industry I was in before. I did about a year and a half where I was doing both these when I first started brokering. And so Storm Ventures Group basically is, the storm restoration groups, like the storm restoration industry is like $100 billion. Probably more than that when you got hurricanes and stuff happening. But basically, that's on the business side of the contractors and stuff. So the idea of what our virtual program is going to be based on what Storm Ventures Group, because our contractor store. They had SVG University and then a contractor store. As associates, you guys are in for life 100% free. You don't have to pay for anything. You're going to be beta testing. We're going to do it in LearnDash instead of Lightspeed. Lightspeed is the program that Storm Ventures Group uses. Why? Because with Lightspeed, I got to go pay him $10,000 to, whereas with Danny, I can, we can actually build a program and he'll get a piece of, so does Lightspeed. But obviously, it's like when you guys know Danny was on a couple weeks ago and he mentioned, hey, Mark Zuckerberg, you're not going to build anything for us. So we can actually build this thing and you guys will get revenue share starting in January off of it. Obviously, it's not going to be very much. It's going to be like getting monetized at YouTube. You get your first check from YouTube, it's like $20. But eventually, some of those people make a lot of money off of it. So I want to throw that out there to you guys on that in that system. It's kind of a cool system. I'm gonna try to bring up real quick to go through this tonight. Let me make sure if I can do this. I have to go get it, and then it might take me a second to pull it up. Get back to my what I was going to try to show you guys on Monday. I'm going to try to bring it up right now. Okay. Bear with me. This one's like a little, this one takes a second to see if this one comes up for you guys. So it looks like I was on a delay for some reason on Monday night. I don't know why that happened. Let me see if this is going to come up or not. Okay. Are you able to see this? This says logic lending.
Not yet.
Okay, let me try to do that one more time. I got to do that stupid thing. I hate this sometimes. I don't know why this. All right.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. This is logic lending, guys. So these are things to look for. I'm going to go. This is what I was going to show you guys on Monday. 5 things to look for and question before doing a lot of work on a file. So obviously, I get the disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. I do watch Law and Order. That kind of joke. I used to tell that joke all the time. I'm not a lawyer, but I watch Law and Order. Logic lending really revolves around these questions, guys. How are you going to make money, and how are you going to service the debt? How are you going to be able to pay for the deal? So we get into this is kind of how lending works. You want to always ask questions. A lot of you guys are going to be dealing with people that want to borrow money from our lenders, or they may want to borrow it from you, or you're borrowing money, or you guys know what the deal is. So logic-based lending requires the borrower to prove they're going to be able to successfully make money on the transaction. So obviously they're going to fix and sell the property for a profit, or they're going to acquire the property and touch debt financing and still have a positive monthly cash flow. This is a little outdated, so there's some things on here it doesn't cover, but like it doesn't get into like subject twos and things like that. It's primarily around flips and then single. This is pretty much around the single family market. So flips and rental properties. There's some things you could adapt. So obviously, I just want to let you guys know. So some of you guys, and this is pretty much for the newer people. So the lending pyramid, and so they look at a lot of lenders look at 5 things. They're going to look at, level one is going to be the as is and what the ARV is. And obviously, there's some slides that explain these individually. So I'm going to go through these 5 and then I'll go to those slides. Level 2 is reserves, the ability to pay. Level 3 is experience. Level 4 is credit score if lenders require FICO. You guys know, like they have the 5% down program that Casey and Addison can help you with. They require a 600 FICO. A lot of people still do asset-based lending. It's still out there. But some of these better deals that you guys are seeing 5% down, 10% down, I think even a 0% down. I know Chris is on here, able to answer that. They will look at the credit scores. In some cases like that, you will get a better deal if you do actually use credit. Level 5 is employment. So obviously in the pyramid, guys, value is going to speak to the safety of the deal, as is their ARV. There's a value in that deal. Reserves, where is it? Your ability to pay. A lot of times the lender is going to want you to have 2 or 3, probably like 3 months of being able to show, hey, you're going to owe $2,000 a month, interest only. You got to have $6,000, to cover that for those first 3 months. If you're doing a flip, you definitely want to try to get out of the rehab in 3 months if you can. It's hard to do, guys, and it's not related to investing. But my parents did a renovation on a part of their house called the bunk house, which is between the garage and the main house. They got damaged by a flood, and it was like, man, the contractor got done, and they couldn't get the appliances for like 3 months after the contractor was 100% done. So you guys got to remember that sometimes in your rehabs, you got to deal with supply chain issues. Home Depot, Lowe's. I mean, people say it's good to buy what's in the store, and don't buy. But I did this like you guys know. I did like a 6 month job during the COVID at Home Depot, and it was like, man, you don't want to buy stuff right off the floor though. But at least if it's up in the racks and stuff up and overhead, they can, there's appliances there you can get, but you don't want to buy something on the floor because it gets dented. And I know people like buying scratch and dent, but when you're selling a property, you don't want to scratch and dent. Maybe if you're renting, you can get away with it. So guys, that's where you want to talk about experience. And we do have 2 forms that you can also download. They are in the files tab. One's called experience owned and one's called experience sold. 2 separate forms. So if you've already sold properties, you can put in experience sold. It's an Excel. If you own properties, you can also use that. You can, if you're just starting out, put your primary residence, but once you start getting a few deals, don't include your primary residence on it. It's just to show experience, but you don't want to send to a lender and actually have them factored in for cross collateralization, and then you end up not getting the deal approved through underwriting. Credit, utilization of credit, are they responsible? Some of the lenders that I know will actually allow you, if you've had a bankruptcy, as long as it's discharged. In some cases, with an LLC or things like that, there are some that they will often, still approve people with if it's related to that. And almost every state now is not allowing. And I don't know if it's federal. I'd have to check on it. I know in Colorado, I got a 130-point increase in my FICO because they took off medical bills because I had some medical stuff going on years ago. Employment. What's your exit strategy? What's your reputational capital? What's the location? Reputational capital is it's easy, it's self-explanatory. What's your exit strategy? Exit strategy is part of the E's. I call the E's are like your executive summary, your exit strategy, your experience, education, sometimes employment, things like that. If you're educated, in real estate investing, if you're in this program like we're doing now, and the lenders who are in this program see you showing up on the Zooms and participating and all that stuff, that can sometimes help. Some of these bigger lenders that are more company wise probably aren't going to do that as much as say somebody that's that's in the group that's lending money, sees you all the time, talks to you because you guys become friends in the group, and then you want to borrow money from them, but they see you in the group all the time, participating and learning, and that's going to be a huge part of things in the future. So, Pippa, here's where we talk about that CDNA report. Put that in there. I am gonna find out tomorrow from Kogo how to get that, because I think I can get that through my back office. So, collateral DNA report is something that Kogo does. Lee Arnold and stuff, and it's $25. It's like an appraisal. They use it in their decision. I just want to throw this out there, guys. So, this is value. So they look at so I'm using this from Kogo because this is where I started. That was the first lender I worked for. I did all my private money broker training in 2017 with them, which is a 40-hour class in the classroom. So they look at, they will actually go through, if appraisal is 150 and the DNA report's 190, they will actually split the difference. So it's a pretty good deal. They actually, it's their document. They have 95% of the residential properties in the United States in their system. So they can pull and do these, and they're sophisticated. Other lenders aren't going to accept it in lieu of an appraisal, but you guys could encourage it. If I'm going to research tomorrow and figure out how you guys can get it. I think if you're not in their system, they charge you a little bit more. But reserves, guys. Yeah, so we got the schedule of real estate and schedule of assets. So what assets do they have? Where are they? What are they? And so for a loan to be logical, we need to determine how the borrower is going to be able to afford this loan. The last thing we want to do is force our borrowers into sticky financial situations. They must present the ability to afford the monthly debt service of the loan. There's obviously debt and there's equity. We're talking about debt. We're talking about taking loans out. If they're going to fix it up and sell it, we need to know where those rehab funds are coming from. Most lenders, I don't know what Life Changing does, but I know most lenders they'll let you have 4 loans, but they'll usually let you have like 1 rehab loan. So you got to figure out where you want to get to. We'll get to rehab and scope of work in a couple of weeks. I'll talk about some strategies on how you can actually exponentially stretch your rehab dollars. So we'll talk about that. No need to talk about it tonight. Obviously, lenders want to know that you're working as licensed and bonded contractors, and they've got insurance, and they want to verify. And I tell you guys, everybody that's on here, I tell you guys that you need to actually verify with the insurance carriers, the companies, not the agents. And I didn't learn that through the real estate. I learned that when I was in that other business, because I'd have subcontractors that had liability insurance and workers' comp. And and it wasn't from me, my company, but there's somebody I worked for. They had a subcontractor. Basically, you guys know, sometimes you can go pay a payment like on your car insurance or whatever. You can do that on liability and workers' comp as well. And they basically made a fraudulent. In Colorado, they have a thing called Pinnacle, and it's a Pinnacle. Pinnacle's an insurance company. They verify all the workers' comp in Colorado. They were able to make so people have a Pinnacle document here, and they basically it can put the liability. So if you got holiday insurance, it's a holiday insurance, but if you got workers' comp here, Pinnacle would underwrite they would basically approve that whatever workers' comp company. So they basically created a false document. Luckily, the guy that I was working for called the bank. I mean, not the bank, but the insurance company and verified, and they said, no, we never heard about this guy. Or they would go and make one payment and they wouldn't make the rest of their payments. So, you talk about an average homeowner, they get an insurance certificate. They're probably not going to ever check. You guys are in business. You got a lot of liability. You got risk. This is your business. This is your livelihood. This is where you're building your wealth and getting your assets and all that stuff. So you want to check with the insurance company. And if you're lending money to people, you may want to, if you guys are out there lending your own money outside of EMD and GAP, because that's a different animal. But if you're going to lend your own money on deals, you may want to require them to have an insurance policy that makes you also the additional insured. So you pretty much want to make that requirement if you're lending your own money. So people, they will have an insurance, that way if something happens, it covers you. How much you have in the bank, your experience. We have those two forms. How many properties do they own? How many flips have they done? How well are they managing their business? This gives an experience. It's one of the E's. So you guys don't ever see me post the E's. I don't post the answers generally, but do you guys, the E's, the exit strategy, executive summary, experience, education, all that stuff. There's a lot of good stuff with the E's. Um, so you guys want to show before and after pictures. Remember Monday night I talked about company cam. So this whole paragraph right here, a borrower who can produce before and after pictures of a property, multiple properties, as well as copies of checks showing the amount of money they made is preferable. So you can take that document that I have that I just mentioned that are in files, and you could have people fill these out, and you could use Company Cam to have them take pictures of all the jobs that you do with them, and tell them, that way you can go and verify and say, hey, this is 123 Main Street. Here's 1,000 pictures. Here's the before when they bought the pictures. Here's when they got it staged for sale, and here's all the draw periods. They have draw one, they have draw two, three, four, all the way how many draws. And each one of those draw periods could be a separate folder of pictures. So that way if you gotta do the kitchen or you go to the bathrooms, like you gotta get like it's got a master bathroom and two other bathrooms. You gotta do all that stuff that week. You take all those pictures and put it in the bathrooms folder. So you can use Company Cam. And Company Cam is free. They do have a paid version, but nobody in this group really should do the volume. I wasn't doing the volume when I had my restoration business, and I had like 20, 25 jobs contracted at a time at one point after hailstorms and stuff. So it never got to the point where I was going to have to get the paid version of Company Cam. So it is companycam.com credit. So they have what the trade lines are, number of bank mortgage loans. Guys, if they're gonna use credit, you know, it's got to see what's happening. How do they manage their credit? And are there a few dings or whatever? The lenders that use this are going to pull the data. If you are doing your own loans and you want to check people's credit, I wouldn't do it. I would just have them pull Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, and take the copy out what their scores are. Don't look at the actual. You get into some issues there. Companies like Cogo, Ground Floor, and all that stuff, they have a lot of protections in place. You also don't want to have people sending their information to you because you don't have a way to keep it safely and securely. You don't want to get hacked and lose people's information. Bankruptcy and foreclosures are acceptable on a credit report if it's utilized as a last ditch effort to stay afloat. Bankruptcy and foreclosure are valid tools in business. It's the story that we need to know. So you need to get a story. You can have them write down. And Kevin could tell if you guys ever talk to Kevin because his family's in the automotive business. They like to get stories when people have bad credit when they're trying to get stips or stipulations for the car loan. They like to know what happened and why. And sometimes they'll overlook it at that point because it maybe it's a medical issue, and everybody got screwed during COVID. So a lot of people are now recovered though. It's been a couple of years. Employment, did they have did they have a real job? How difficult will collections be? you guys are still into asset-based lending. It's like, collection company agencies and stuff aren't going to be involved with those, but it's just something like you want to know what people actually do. Is this their full-time job? Can you get a tax return? This is an easy time of the year to get tax return because people are doing their tax returns now. I just got some of my stuff back today. Lending of the fund. So guys, keep in mind, it's, we talk about EMD and gap and we talk about seconds. Ideally, this is where this whole presentation is based on a primary lender, first position lender. So credit used only to utilize a rate reduction. If people want a rate reduction, if they want to pay 8% instead of 10%, you might have to, they might check their credit. Like I said, it's not necessarily gonna deny them, but it might get them a better deal. It might get them a better rate. It might get some of the basis points, cut down. It might get them some kind of a program, a 5% down, a 10% down, something that's really good for them, something that, they could stretch out the 12 months, so they could do all kinds of different factors come into play at that point. Most of these loans are going to be 3 months, are going to be like usually 6 months to 12 months. And obviously they get tiers. All these lenders have tiers. I mean, I don't think Life Changing does. I'd have to talk to them more about their in depth. But most of the lenders that I've worked with and broken for in the past would have tiers. And like you could, if you had 5 flips and you had a 750 credit score, you could actually get like 10%. Where if you have a 600 score and you have no experience, you might pay 15, 16%. So just keep that in mind. Most of them have no prepayment penalty. They want verified income, for the down payment, construction, rehab costs, closing costs, 3 months of reserves, and then they do allow cross collateralization. So obviously they're looking, guys, remember this is keyed towards single family, and then usually, four to smaller triplexes, fourplexes, things like that. We're not talking about 50 doors, 100 doors, 200 door complexes. They're going to want the clear title required. You guys heard Candy a couple weeks ago. She's a good resource. Closing with Candy. 1 year hazard insurance. I think Ace is going to try to get their insurance company contact on, so they can talk to you about the insurance premiums. Unfortunately, most people have to pay for a year. So if you sell it, you still paid for a year of insurance. Purchase to loan value. To keep in mind these numbers are all these are a little older, but every lender's gonna have different. You guys are gonna get term sheets and all that stuff. So you guys can look at what those individual lenders do. Season requirements, things like that, cross collateralization. These are just a few samples of some different deals. What people did. There's some and you guys want to make some sheets like this, just in that fill in the blanks. You guys can start tracking your deals and your clients' deals if you're brokering, or your borrowers' deals if you're lending, and start making like little reminders, get some pictures, things like that. Tell a story so that way when you guys are at conferences and stuff, you can show people what you've done. So these are just a few, just kind of a few different deals. There's some companies that have what they call a borrower performance guarantee. So sometimes they will actually pay like $1,000, or this is a couple like Vizio does it, Kogo does it, a couple of the ones do it, where you can actually pay and it gives you like a guarantee. Like, so that way if something happens, it actually is like insurance, on the actual loan, on the note. Extra strategy. You guys get into these different things. You guys, and I will upload this so you guys can look at your own term, but obviously you guys are going to start tracking this: the property description, loan type, loan amount, price value, LTV, term, proceeds, use of proceeds, exit strategy, any highlights, got a couple pictures. I'm not going to go through all these in detail because we have about, I think we have 5. Okay. So on a detail, and we showed you guys that detailed form earlier. Details about the deal, their best email address, their phone number, their complete property address, what type of property, what the purchase price is, loan amount, what the cost of rehab and repairs is going to be. Like I said, we get a scope of work. I'll show you guys some cheat codes. plan time to complete rehab, plan time to market and sell. There is, I think, some cool programs out there to help with, if you're still on the property and you need to do you can actually get it, like, it's not really an advance, but you can get like some cash out while it's on the market. As is value, what the ARV is, what the exit strategy is. Guys, it's also good to have a contingency strategy. Your exit strategy, I'm gonna flip it, but what happens if you can't flip it? Can you put on the, can you do short-term rent it as an Airbnb while you're got it on the market? You got it staged, you got it furnished, you got it clean, you can have house cleaning type services come in and keep it going. You got some income coming in while it's on the market. Have you guys thought about that? If you're gonna flip it or anything, or while you're trying to get it rented long term, can you put it on Airbnb or VRBO? I know the difference is that a VRBO, you cannot live in the property if you're doing VRBO, or you can on Airbnb. Cost qualization, what the loan terms are, what rates did you budget, what kind of business entity. And we're going to talk about this on one of the Thursday sessions. And you guys will get access to the video if you don't want to sit through them all. We'll talk about some entities, LLCs and stuff, and that business thing that Kevin and I covered a few weeks ago from FinCEN. What the borrower and the guarantees. Guys, like I said, it comes down to credit score, employment, number of deals, experience, challenges and credits, explanation of negative items, foreclosure, bankruptcy, how much do you have in the bank and how much do you have in reserves? And most lenders aren't going to accept credit cards for reserves. If somebody knows one, let me know, and I'll be glad to change that. But this is what they look for: value, reserves, experience, credit score, employment. So that's it. I mean, that's a little fast presentation. I just say I like to do a longer one, but I'd like to have it up on a board. But that's kind of something that some of the lenders look for. Every lender is different. Every lender is going to be different. I mean, Chris is on, so he knows that Life Changing probably got some different parameters, different guidelines. Pogo is generally known for being excessive on paperwork. I'll show you guys the borrower's checklist from Pogo that I have compared to a borrower's checklist from Visio, and it's quite the difference. But if you prepare yourself or your clients for Pogo, you're going to be good for everybody. I can guarantee you that because they ask for a lot of stuff. So this time, let's just start with when we get an update from everybody, starting from top left. Zeke, how are you? What's going on? How's Wyoming?
It's warm today.
Yeah, I figured that. I saw that today. It's pretty good, man. It was like 40 something here today. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, yeah. I mean, it was better than last week when it was minus 16. What do you got going on real estate wise? Because I know you said you were looking at some properties.
Yep. I'm going out probably Saturday to look at another one.
Cool. Yeah. Eventually what I'm going to try to do is encourage a lot of people to go ahead and get the free account at Company Cam, and then throw me down as one of the people that you can send pictures to, and let me watch, or let some of the people in the group watch people when they go out and look at properties, and they go out and look at stuff, get some pictures, and let us kind of in the class, because we're all getting to this point where we've done this a lot. Let's get some, we can. I'm telling this to everybody, not just you, Zeke, but I think that'd be kind of cool. People are out looking at stuff, or people are doing rehabs, and people are doing, they bought properties. Let's start looking at everybody's, what everybody's doing, and we can everybody can kind of learn from each other. That's what this is about. Yeah, let me know what you find out there this weekend.
The one
It
I'm
should
looking
be
at this weekend has 3 houses on it,
okay.
and then it's got like 10 houses or cabins from a concentration camp from World War II.
Oh, is that from like World War II? Oh yeah, like when they brought the Japanese prisoners over here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we have one in Colorado that they had at the Camp George White, which is actually what the Colorado National Guard is at. And then there's there's actually a minimum security prison there in Golden, and it's like funny because it's like a chain link fence, and you can they can almost sit on the chain link fence and escape by falling over. And it's like so minimum. I mean, all the guys there do work release. It's just funny because I have a friend that has a barbecue restaurant down the street from there, and I drive by it all the time. But that's cool. Pippa, how are you? I'm on your thing tomorrow. I will check with Kogo in the morning on your CDMA. see if I can get it through my account for $25. Because when you sent that to me, I was like, holy crap, they're actually gonna make you go through the whole process to get one.
Yeah, I was a little surprised too, because Capital Syndicate and Coco are together, and I belong to Capital Syndicate, but oh, whatever. Everybody's looking to make a
No,
dime, right?
because I have it in my back office. I'll just look it up in the morning and
Okay.
try to get it for you and see if I can just get it. If I don't figure it out. And they still charge. I know they still charge $25. They Kogo changed their whole back office, so it's actually much easier to find stuff. I just haven't been on there as much as I used, when I was on the old one all the time. And
Okay.
it's kind of cool. Sean, how are you, man? What's going on with you? Anything you're working on?
Hello, how are you? That's funny because so I'm from Denver and I lived in Brighton for a long time. There's a concentration camp that's up in Brighton that has a couple really cool stories. I wonder if you had a property that was nice enough. I don't know, concentration camps or the internment camps anyway, have a lot of
I
negative
think that's what
stories.
they call. I think we call them internment. I think they
Right,
was the other
right.
country that everybody.
But I wonder if you could turn that around and make it have some Airbnb appeal that, I don't know if you could
Okay,
turn it around that much.
wait for this. Okay, so one of my friends was he was with the federal prison system, and he was actually he retired at Inglewood, which is where like Rod Blagojevich, actually Jared from
Right.
Subway is there right now, and I drive by it like literally every day. And it's they got medium and stuff, and but he was at ADX Florence, which is Supermax, and they got all the stuff under cells, all the terrorists are there. They have a place called the Suites. There's like 8 cells, and it's like nobody there is even allowed. They basically only allowed to talk to their lawyers. And then, but he was a captain at Terre Haute when Tim McVeigh got executed, and he was the last guy to actually, before the execution team came in to escort him, he actually got his property certificate receipt because Tim McVeigh had to sign his property over. So he has the last known, so the last signature that he ever signed, which, it's kind of morbid. I don't know why people would buy his signature, but he jokes about
Right.
that he still has it. Because like he's not going to need it. It's like the
Right.
golden vodka. So we joked about Colorado built a new like a supermax state prison, and they had two of them, and it was like then they went in and decided to be soft on crime again, and oh, we don't need this brand new $150 million prison. It's all state of the art. It was sitting there, so we're like, let's just Airbnb the prison.
Right. I
So
think people
right
would
out of your
stay.
comment, yeah, I mean, it goes stay in it. It's brand new. It's like
I'd stay just to check it out. Yeah, right. It would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, he tells some good stories. He's like he retired at a minimum. He's like, dude, there's a place there where the guys actually don't have a fence, and they actually escape, go to Walmart, come back with their food, and they go and steal food from Walmart. But they only steal stuff that's also in the commissary, so that way the guards don't know
Right.
if it was stolen from Walmart or they bought it to commissary. And it's weird. You'll go to, and I go to my mom goes to that Walmart sometimes, and I'm like, because the meaning they're all on work release. They're probably 6 months from getting out. And so they wear civilian clothes. So you would never know that. They wear their own clothes. They're getting ready to get released. Federal's a lot different than state.
Right.
So, cool. All right. Hey, Doris, what's up? How are you? Anything you're working on real estate wise?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
I'm working on real estate, but I keep finding interesting deals, but they're at auction.
Yeah, it's a hard unless you have money to show up at the sheriff's auction or something. They are
But no,
hard.
I was on was it
Oh,
Crest?
you're on the websites for it, right?
Yeah, and I was looking at what was it? It was either Ohio or West Virginia. And I found a 30 unit. And they only wanted I think 95. And I would say there gotta be something wrong with this for 95 or 30 unit for 95. I'm
Yeah.
like, I cannot access the information, and I'm going to have to create some lines of credit so that if I find something that I'm really interested in, I can at least pony up some refundable money, just so I can get the data. The other thing that I have been able to accomplish is I got onto a nonprofit group, rebuilding Greater Harrisburg. They try to keep senior citizens in their home by making repairs.
Yeah. Very
Uh, and so that means that one Wednesday out of the month I'll be with them. It seems like an interesting group. They have a diverse group of people. But I'm trying to debate whether or not I want to join the Chamber of Commerce or just go into a RIA group to find some locally mom and pop that want to sell their finance deals.
Or start your own RIA group. You could even then start even on Agents Gather and promote to your area and have Danny help you get SEO and optimization. So you become like the expert in Lancaster and whatever area you're in, other areas in Pennsylvania. That's a great suggestion for people is to work with Danny and get your this is for everybody, getting a group set up and becoming the expert in your area and setting up an online RIA group using Agents Gather. That's really what it's really about. And you could then also bring in agents and you guys think about, bringing in some agents and some local people to work with. It'd be a huge advantage.
Okay, well, could you shoot me Danny info?
Yeah, I'll
me
shoot it when we're done.
Okay, so that I can give him a call.
Yeah, his number's on the website on Agents Gather. You can actually he lists his number
Oh,
on
I
there.
thought that was a default number, like a virtual number.
Well, no, I'll give you his, he's in the group. You just, connect, I'll connect you with him and then he can tell you how to get a hold of him so he can talk to you about it.
Yeah,
So he can
because
get you all set up.
like in Lancaster, there is a 50 unit
Yeah.
senior living, and they want 1.2. And according to what I saw, they located near a major highway. They got a lot of shopping center nearby, but the property is, how should I say, dated. You're gonna probably have to pump at least 25 per unit as they leave, and bump up the rent in order to, I would think, to get people out of the Philadelphia area who wants to go in there, or local people who have senior citizen, they want to be close by and pay that. But my biggest drawback is I'm slightly on the green side, and I'm not talking about Eagle Green.
Yeah.
Because I know, I kind of know what I'm doing. I don't have the finance behind me to back it up.
Well,
And
that's
so,
what we're working on. We definitely need to get you, if you do like the affiliate stuff with like Life Changing or something, you can get some good.
Casey hasn't contacted me because
I know
I've been,
he's, so here's the thing. I just talked to him about an hour before we started tonight and they're actually they're making some revisions to it. And they're going to be doing some education with the group that they have, the affiliates group on Facebook. So just everybody that's in that group, just kind of bear with them. They're just making some points. Apparently, is changing a few things to make it better, easier for you guys. They're also going to teach people on marketing and how to screen things because we have a bunch of people that have actually, you know, when you're brand new, it's hard to tell when you're getting hit up by the same deal by different people.
mm-hmm.
So new people get sucked into that. I did when I started. You
Yeah.
get people hitting you up and you think it's a deal and you submit it and it's like he said they've seen the same deal. In 1 week they saw the same property come up 3 times for different people.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're gonna teach everybody how to screen. They're setting up that program right now.
Did Casey give you a clue of when they're going to start this?
It should start any time. He's just waiting for Clint to give him the go ahead. So
Yeah,
it could happen tomorrow. It could happen anytime. And then
Yeah,
we're
because-
doing our thing on Thursday night. And I'm going to do a lot more.
What thing on
Per-
Thursday night?
I'm going to do a Zoom on Thursdays starting February 8th. So I'll be doing 3 a week.
Oh, you can be burnt out. Okay. What
Well, I'm
time?
only doing that one through April, guys. Because we have enough people like, Pipple's in here. We got David Lewis. We got a few other people. Anita. We got, anybody that wants to come on, you guys are welcome. And if you just want to make one a week or what. I don't want you guys to get burned out, but you guys also know that you can watch the videos after the fact. So I'm gonna be doing a Thursday, which is just gonna cater to the this. It's gonna be a lot of screening marketing. It's gonna be a lot of this helping you guys broker affiliate, and then if you're just borrowing, you're gonna get a lot more insight. And then with the associates group, Mondays and Wednesdays, we're gonna start doing these things like we're doing now. We're gonna go through short-term rentals next week. Cameron's gonna be on. We got a bunch of on Wednesday. We got a bunch of stuff coming, and then we keep ramping up towards the virtual launch between March 1st and the end of March, and then we'll have that on LearnDash on Agents Gather. So that'd be awesome. Just
Okay.
kind of cool. All right.
Hey Dolores, if you find a property like that in Ohio, I'm in Ohio and I occupational hazard. I like going and looking at properties even if I don't have any interest in them. But the auctions in Ohio are actually really easy to work with. You do have to put some amount of a deposit down and it's non-refundable, so you have to kind of be willing
Yeah.
to gamble that a little bit, but they give you a whole lot of time to close on the property. So they give you a lot of time to do due diligence and they give you a lot of time to close on the property. So it's a small amount that you have to put down on the property.
What's the small amount? 20?
No. There are like 5 or 10. As little as
5 to
5%.
10K? 5
And
to 10K?
no, 5 or 10%. But I think that they give you a lot of time to do inspections and everything. So look at all of those details if you want to look at it together. If you want somebody to go look, physically at the properties, I'm happy to, to brainstorm anything that you want.
Oh, that's great. I appreciate that, Sean. Yeah, because
Everything.
I'm more than happy to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I mean, then hopefully
Oh.
we can get some, get some, some support from some lenders coming your way when you go to those auctions.
yeah,
If you know the parameters of what they're looking for, then you can
Right.
go and, that makes it so much
Right.
easier than all these people that, because once you get something in a contract, you're pretty much stuck unless you can get the seller to make a change. And like I said,
Right.
that lady that hit me up on Christmas Eve when I was at my parents' house. I got a closing on Friday. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to help you.
Well, it's a funny balance. So it's hard to work with a lender when you don't have a property under
Yeah.
contract, right? If I'm a lender, I don't really want, but if as much as you can build a relationship and get pre-qualified, and that only makes sense. As far as getting lending on some of those auction deals, it would be easy to do. The challenge is making sure that you kind of know your scope and you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Before you even bid. And why not bid, a ridiculous low and see if you get it and see if you can make it work. And you have 24 hours from the time you bid, or I think maybe even same day from the time you bid, that you do have to put a percentage down. So if you don't have that in your bank account, that's right there, that's your deal killer. But you don't necessarily have to have lending in place if you have some money to throw down on the deposit and then do your all of your due diligence and get the lending afterward. They give you a lot of time to after you win the bid.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like a perspective, like you got this relationship in our group with lenders, so you already know what they're going to require and what
Right.
your qualifications
Right.
in that relationship. So, you can go to the auction and then you can call Casey and get the job form over to
Right.
him.
Right.
And you can
Right.
write your offer knowing that it's probably going to be accepted
Right.
with a loan
Right.
because you've already have that. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Right.
it's like they just don't
That's
hit me
smart.
up at 4 p.m. on Christmas Eve.
But be on the
that's
phone
hard
with
pressed
them
to
after the
eat
auction
Christmas
itself,
Eve.
right?
Yeah, and have that, be able to send that form, iPad, whatever, get that thing off and basically get that deal done, get that thing in the works, and put an inspection period on anything you do. Make sure you guys got inspection time. Like, because Gwen's saying like 14 to 17 days even on the EMD and GAP deals, so she has time. You get the inspection. Build in those things you're out. So you have clauses to get out without it going hard, without losing it, your money, because
Right.
that kind of sucks. But yeah, we'll check it out. So yeah, Doris, keep Sean in mind. That helps. I think we have a couple other people in well, we have George now in Massachusetts on Jesse Page, so we're starting to pick up some people in that area. We're still pretty much nothing in the Northwest. You know, it takes all the way from the Pacific Ocean till we get to Iowa, till we get Chris Phelps, that whole stretch of like Idaho and Washington and Montana and Wyoming and the Dakotas. Then you get to Nebraska and then all of a sudden Chris shows up in Iowa. So
Uh-uh.
that's the first person there in the Northwest. When we go down to the Southwest, you know, we got Angel Marino and Matt Moreland in California, and then you get to Cameron in Arizona, and then it's Mel in New Mexico, and you know, Bill and I are here, Zeke's in Wyoming, so we got that's where we kind of start picking up people on the West Coast. Go ahead and check on Sam. How are you? Able to talk? Oh, I'll jump to other people. Edith, how are you? Welcome. Is that your second Zoom?
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
Is this your
Good,
second
good.
or your, is this your second or your first? I forget. Oh,
This is my first. I was driving, so that's why I didn't have my face face posted on here.
no. I honestly, people do this all the time. They're at work, whatever. We're the most relaxed group out there.
Awesome. Yes. So just a quick introduction. I'm a full-time dental hygienist. I'm a landlord, and I want to learn how to do private money lending. And right now, what I have going on is that there's a flipper. I'm in California. There's a flipper up in the South Bay that has worked with somebody else that I know. And he borrowed some money and he did pay back and everything. And so I'm actually doing a little due diligence on him. He already sent me some of his projects. And I asked him for a referral as well, another one. Now, this is how he borrows money though. It's not secured. It's on a promissory note, and anything over 100 that he borrows, he'll secure. Anything under, he doesn't. He does it on a promissory note. So I wasn't gonna do a lot because he's somebody that I'm barely going to work with. So I'm a little, but I'm green. So I'm like, what else should I ask for?
Oh, we're gonna give you those. I just went over a form. I'll make sure you have it tomorrow in the morning. I'll send you that
Yeah.
stuff like I've been sending you. The Thursday Zoom will be ideal for you. If you can't make it, like everything we do and what I told you when I was talking to you in Zoom message over the
Mhm.
couple weeks, everything that we do, you can watch the videos afterwards. I'll post this tonight. The only, you know, so we want to make sure that you guys are good. And as you hear, our group's friendly. People are willing to help you out. You know, besides just me and so we got our lenders and we got all the people in the group right now. You know, you can reach out to Sean, you can reach out to Doris, Zeke. You know,
Yeah.
these guys are they're gonna help you, Kenny. They're gonna help you. Everybody
Awesome.
here is nobody. The great thing about our group is keeping it smaller is that everybody really builds friendships and relationships, so everybody can work together. Unlike these groups, there's 50,000 people. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's so, and
Yeah.
I'm building that for Thursday night. I'm also building a wholesaler group, and I'm basically going to have it lender free just so we can bring people in with properties because everybody here wants to get properties. We're talking about how we can comp and we can value and we can get properties, and then you guys want to work with them or whatever. So I'm building everything for you guys. We'll do 12 of those Thursdays. We're going to do them all the way through April 28th. And then we've obviously got agents gathered. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So
Awesome.
don't be afraid to feel like you're behind because you'll get caught up pretty quick, and we can start focusing on what your specific goals are, and then we can start making sure you got those resources. So because sometimes Facebook sucks for how we are able to organize things in the files tab and the guides. You want to go to guides, there's a lot of snippets of information that you can get little bits and pieces like what title insurance is, things like that. We don't want people going down too much rabbit holes. We want to give people the base information, and then we're going to basically get you, connect you with the people in the group that are doing what you want to do. And
You know
so
what? I have a quick question. Is that kind of common when you're doing private money lending to rehabbers that they don't secure anything under 100 if they're gonna
No,
borrow that?
it's a rare. I mean, like Sean's experience, he's shaking his hand. I'm saying no. It's something that promissory notes are a whole different. And I don't know how to teach. I don't know how to show people what to do on that. I would be learning myself on how to do that. You know, to be honest.
90 or 95% of real estate lending is asset-based lending, and asset-based means the asset is securing your money.
Yeah.
Correct.
And yeah, and that's why you forego credit worthiness and all of the red tape and the paperwork that goes with borrowing unsecured money. So
Yeah,
he should know that. Now,
because a promissory note basically is an IOU on a napkin. It's like I would have to go after my money if shit goes, you know,
No,
Right.
you definitely want to
they
stay.
go
If you
belly
are,
up.
yeah, you want to stay away from. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, our group's better. They're gonna make sure you do it the right way. Everything's legal. You know, people do have problems sometimes. I mean, guys, you watch the ACV shows, which I tell people when you're getting into
Right.
business, don't watch. Those guys all have issues. They, sometimes I think the producers, make them more. Everything was reality TV, but everybody has some issues come up from time to time on properties. I've only had out of like 300, it's close to 300 that I've brokered. I've only had one client ever had a foreclosure. So I feel pretty good about that. But then again, I'm brokering. So, most of the time I'm out of the deal at closing. Most of the time as a broker, you don't,
I'm
you don't,
fortunate that I've never had a foreclosure, but I've had some projects go really, really, really bad.
like you may not make
And
as
had-
much as
yeah,
you may not make as much
Yeah.
or as if you get some cases, if you get the property paid back, the lenders paid back, you keep a relationship.
Yeah.
You may not
Right.
make them. This is not. It's not like rocket science, but it's not also like easy. It's not like. So
Yes.
what we try to do is we try to cut the learning curve down and make sure there's a lot of support. There's all the resources. If you want to do short-term rentals, we're going to go over the short-term rental analyzer on Monday like we did. We kind of showed people we're not going to go through and do the whole. You could do a whole class and spend 8 hours doing that analyzer and pulling all the information. We try to give you enough resources where you can go out there and you can at least you can pivot, because
Yeah.
a lot of times people get into one guru or one fortune builders or I forget what the company is, the Z that had like I forget what they had like Scott Graziani on those guys. They had $500 million in revenue and they paid their gurus like $200 million to. You're never going to meet those people at these seminars. You're never going to meet Scott Yancey or any of these guys. They don't.
No.
They get paid to use their name. And I tell people this all the time because I went to 23 seminars before I became a private money broker through Lee Arnold and Kogo. And
But at the end of the day, when you're lending your money, you're taking on a lot of risk, and you want to
Yeah.
mitigate that risk. And I think that it's fair to ask for a tangible asset to secure the risk that you're taking. I don't want to lend for paper. I want to lend for assets.
No, exactly.
Right?
If we want to do that, we'd work for. We'd
Right,
have a lot of
right.
other things out there
Well,
that we could do.
Well, it's like I'll lend it to my family because I know I'm never gonna get it back.
Right. Right.
That's true.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's kind of I
To
don't know.
my
It's asset.
family. There it goes.
Yeah, well, you're not going to go wrong. We're going to make sure that everything's good, and you got enough people here to run things by. And kind of what I was alluding to too is if you get into one, you go join fortune builders, you're flipping. You're basically but most of those seminar promoters are into flips, and that's all they do. And I mean, not that there isn't 10,000 other gurus out there, but what happens a lot of times is people get into one, and they want to do something else. Well, now you got to go sign up and pay for somebody else, and you got to go get their system. So what I've tried to do is through the years of I put together this huge, massive library. So if you want to pivot, you just go download it and you go watch the videos, and the person in the group who's doing that. So it's a whole thing where people can just be, you guys can pivot all you want. You can, if you need to do a couple different things, because sometimes the deal will come by. It's a great deal. You can't take advantage of it because you got to pay a couple $1,000s to go take a course or get their software, get their systems. By the time you've done that, that deal's gone. this is a very fast moving industry. I mean, I know some properties sit out there forever, but it's a fast moving industry. Things,
Yep.
and we're trying to build it up. This group's going to be, and once we have the virtual program, it's subscriber based, and everybody here is going to get revenue from it, a revenue share. I mean, that's my goal, is to basically kick back about a third of the revenue after our expenses back to all you guys, and that way you get income from this starting in 2025. If everything goes right to my what I've been planning. A lot of stuff that I work on during the day. When you guys see me posting, I'm still doing other work on the content and the outlines. Guys, so let's
Awesome.
see.
Thank
Kenny,
you.
yeah, no problem. Glad to finally get you on a Zoom. The Thursdays will be great for you. Like I said, if for some reason scheduling, the video will be up about an hour, 2 hours after we do the videos. After the
Perfect.
Zooms, you can watch them. If you have questions, you can hit me up the next day.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Nice meeting everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Have a
Good to
good
meet
one,
you.
Edith.
Hey, Kenny, how are you? I
Good.
know we're
How
still working
y'all?
on your deal, man.
Yeah, still working on that deal.
All right, well, I'll get with you on that in the morning. I'm gonna reach out to Clint and them in the morning.
Okay.
So I was expecting to hear back from him because he was gonna call me about some other stuff I'm doing with them. Yeah, so we'll still get that, and then we'll start working on the other houses as well. Like I said, guys, I also have that new lender that's gonna be on Thursday nights. He's got a $150 million
so-
fund.
Do we know any of the parameters on him? Or that lender?
Not yet. I think we're actually gonna build it with him. He does lend now. He has some, but he wants to come to our group and he's seen what we're doing. And
Okay.
he's gonna be on the first one. I'll talk to him before the 8th. He's gonna be on the Thursday ones. He's
I'm
gonna be
just
on all
I'm
of
just curious if if there's a way to get in that front door of what
I'm-
what
I'm
his
supposed to
buy
reach out
box
to me.
is.
He just got back to me today and told me this morning before I posted that, hey,
Okay.
I'll be on all your Thursdays. Give me Thursday and I'll, and he knows that it's a lot of newer people, lenders. He wants people to even broker for him. He doesn't have a broker. He has a $150 million fund. He's a fund manager.
Maybe you can slide him in our group, for us to
No, it's in your group. You
at
guys
least
are in it.
picking him. Well,
Yeah,
I know
you
that,
guys are
but I
in
mean
it.
on a Monday or a Wednesday. I mean,
No, he'll be. It's like it's not like he's not going to be just exclusive to that. He's going to
Okay.
cover everybody. That's just what his schedule's allowing, and I'm
Gotcha.
trying to obviously got some other it helps me the more these resources I can bring in for you guys.
Agree.
So I'll get with I'll touch base with those guys in the morning. I got some follow up to do for Pippa. I got some follow up to do for David Lewis, stuff like that, and you. So I'll get all that done.
So how much rope am I? I just threw another 5,000 EMD just to hold that project. So at a point, I'm just kind of like lost.
I got to figure out what they exactly will do, because they did say that you could do it, but I gotta talk to Clint. And Casey was actually pretty good about it when he called me. I just didn't see that everybody kind of got into it.
I just
And
couldn't
I don't-
understand. Nat's response was just a little shocking. When it was like, per management. I'm like, well, per management's Clint, so.
I didn't know Tam was on it, and he was asking about why there's 3 loan officers, and I said because all 3 loan officers were on the Zoom. So
Yep.
I'm assuming that's why they were all knowledgeable about your deal. So we'll work it on the morning. I don't
Got
want
it.
to bore everybody else.
Yep.
I'll work on it in the morning when I follow up. I'll follow up with Pippa. I've got some stuff for David Lewis.
Thanks, guys.
Anybody else need anything, guys? Reach out to me in the morning. Like I said, I'll be my laptop will be up at 8 o'clock if anybody needs anything.
8 o'clock Colorado time.
Yeah. Don't want to do everything in Colorado time.
Uh, I just want to make sure.
No. And then what else? What's my other favorite saying, Doris? 14 government business days. I
Yes.
remember this. Whenever I talk about business days, I throw government business days, because you don't want to miss a deadline, because Colorado has this holiday that no other state has, but now you just got your deal screwed up because you didn't know that. So I was putting government business days because there's your out. If you if
Yeah.
you don't know, the city of Denver has Corky Romano Day. He was a union leader back in the 1920s in Denver, and they have a day off for all the city of Denver employees that aren't firefighters or work at the jail or police. Everybody else is playing golf or freezing to death like last week. All right, guys, and don't forget, we're we're not officially sponsored, but I'm hoping they'll see this and I'll get a check, or at least some
What
free
is it?
product. Celsius.
Oh, oh, okay. Energy juice, boo boo
It goes
juice.
with CU because they actually are. Oh, and I'm still lining up guys. The NIL guy, licensed NIL agent. They're in a busy cycle. He'll have about a month off because right now all the athletes that are transferring in that
Yeah.
transfer portal are. So when he has a lull, I've got Deion Sanders, financial advisor, and I've got an NIL agent. But Celsius is used. Celsius actually has some. If you guys ever read the label, it actually has some health stuff, so it's not just energy, which is why I like it. It's actually better than it doesn't get you all jacked up like most energy.
We need to get you. We need to get you some Celsius endorsements, Nate.
I know I'm working on it.
I'll bring a Celsius to every video if it gets you an endorsement. I'll bring one.
No, everybody should start officially see if Celsius because crap, we need to pay those guys. Like Sour Patch Kids. That's what you guys all see me mention. All right.
You should
Alright,
bring
guys.
on your sauces.
Oh yeah. I got a couple boxes.
Yeah,
I'm
you should.
actually I'm almost out right now, so I'll have a new supply in February, so I'll actually start putting a couple on.
You should talk to your affiliate. Say like, hey, if I announce it to my group, you know.
It's
Do you
hard to
get-
do that, and I don't want to feel like I'm like showing my own stuff to you guys. And you aren't, you know, I mean, I'll throw you guys the website all day long. You can order 'em. I mean, my friend, the company ships it for me. I ended up getting a contract with Vail Resorts for my Bloody Mary mix, and I got 300 gallons a month going up to their 6 resorts. So at $8 profit per gallon, 300 gallons a month. That's 20. You know, that's a pretty good deal.
3,400?
300 gallons a month of
No,
Bloody
you
Mary
get
mix.
$8 per gallon.
Profit.
So that's about 2,400.
Yeah, almost 30 grand a year. They're gonna review it in 3 months and see if they're gonna double it.
Yeah, like I said, like my math is not that far off. I'm like, okay, 30
Yeah, and
gallon.
I get like 4 stays at their resorts a year, which is
Yeah.
like Breckenridge, Vale, obviously Vale, Park City,
Yeah.
Crescent Butte.
You can talk to Dion. Hey man, put this in the cafeteria for the team.
No, he already has Celsius. That's where I saw this. His son was drinking at the quarterback that has like $3 million. He actually will take a pay cut to go to the NFL from the NIL money. He gets like a $500,000 a year from Celsius. You know, he
Wow.
was the quarterback for CU, and he's going to be a first round draft. He may be the number 1 quarterback drafted in 2025.
Well, his son.
Obviously, yeah, his son. Both of his sons are going to be drafted in 2025
I thought they was going out this year, 24.
because their dad isn't letting them leave. Well, they still got 1 more year of eligibility because he needs them.
Mhm.
His son's the starting quarterback. Why would you want to milk it until he can't stay there anymore? But yeah, I'll have an NIL agent and I'll have Deion Sanders on financial advisor who I met through the NIL agent on Twitter. You guys haven't posted about that. I got a concept for it. I can't really get into it too much because it just be like I'd start rumbling for another hour because I'm pretty
Hey,
excited about it.
Are you gonna bring a trust guy on?
I'm trying to find somebody because that I know that I trust. There's a few things that we're short on that I try to find, and it's like people want to come on, but it's like I just want to have the best people for you guys. Like Candy talking about the title. Casey's working on trying to get a insurance person that can write policies same day for investment properties, which is awesome. If we get that person on, they'll talk to you about your investment. I'm trying to find people that can help you guys. Just like with Dan, I mean, Danny's awesome. He's helped a lot of people in our group already be on Google and First Page and all that. Get a lot of SEO because you get those backlinks, you get you start getting people coming to you.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's what-
because what's his name? Ron. He briefly mentioned trust, but he didn't explain how the trust would work with a holding company or with
Yeah.
the Transparency Act. I don't like, you just left too many gaps in it for me to even want to consider it. But I said I don't need it right now. But I want to know about it, so
Well,
I know
okay.
when
So
to
on
do
that
it.
on that thing, just before I shut this down and take the recording off,
Mhm.
on the issue of that transparency thing, I'm just giving you guys the websites now. Since then, you guys can go find it on your own. I talked to an attorney. He said just give them the website, the information, because you don't want to give anybody bad information.
Yeah.
Where the possible penalty is jail, is prison time. We just talked about my friend's prison.
Well,
Yeah.
the only clear cut line I have is if you have your LLC created before the 24th, you have until the 25th to make it known. If you create anything during 24, you got 30 to 60 days, depending on what state you're in, to do
And that's
that.
where I'm leaving it because my friend who's a lawyer who does law, he just told me don't even go
Yeah.
there. He said just
No,
give them the
but-
website, the government website, because if they follow the government's website, they follow them. Yeah, I don't want to give it. We did that whole thing, and I made sure you guys, hey, here's the
Look.
basic information. There's a lot of stuff, like just like Joyce, when I talk about like raising capital, I make sure you guys. This is the stuff that I'm getting stuff right from the SEC's website. I'm not gonna give you guys a bunch of stuff that's I've learned a lot of stuff about it. There's a lot of stuff I could tell you guys about it, but I'm kind of leery about somebody goes on and does something and it's like, hey, Nate said to do this. I'd rather get the securities attorneys on to come and talk to you. That's what they're licensed for.
Yeah, no,
I'll joke on the disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer, but I watch Law and Order.
no, with raising capital, I think it was either B or D you could go into and not round too many feathers. It's when
Yeah,
you do
there's
something.
there's a
Yes.
couple things. We'll talk about. We'll talk about it in a few weeks. We got other things to. There's not a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of people that are doing capital raising that's in our group, and I want to make sure that we're focused on what we need to be focused on. We got a lot of new people, and we got a lot of, the one thing is I never wanted to be like focused in one area, but the one disadvantage is to being a broader group is that we do have people that are brand new that kind of don't want to get them left behind, and I don't want to
Right.
bore the crap out of people that are on 100, 200, 300 deals. You may know, they're coming to here. That's why you see some people in the group and you see their names, and maybe they talk once in a while. They're mostly just getting a lot of this stuff out of files. They're getting a lot of stuff and they're getting the databases and stuff. And then there's people in the middle that are active, and there's brand new people that I need. It's trying to make sure we have a balance because everybody's gonna, 6 months, a year from now, the virtuals up, everybody's gonna be doing deals big time. We're gonna be a big player once that virtual's up. It's some pretty
I
incredible
can't
stuff.
wait.
I've almost got half the outlines done for 105 to 7 minute modules. All right, I'm gonna close out and process the video. I'll be
Okay.
available tomorrow. Summer time.
I'll be giving you a call around 11 o'clock my time. Give
So,
you to get
yeah.
up and have a cup of coffee.
Have a good night, guys.
so
Thank you guys, John, and thank
remember
you.
Celsius, Sour Patch Kids.
My stomach would be turning upside down if I did that.
Go Celsius.
You got a cat's on stomach, Nate.
Long live
I'm
Celsius.
not eating them for dinner. I just need something to like, because I was like, sometimes I feel bad about. I'm not talking, and I'm like, hey, all right, guys, talk to you later.
I have a good one, everybody.
All right.